Only God knows the true intentions of every human.
Hi, welcome or welcome back. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. I've watched the first of 3 episodes of the new Netflix series Beauty and the Bester, meaning that this video will be full of spoilers. So if you want to go check out the episode first, pause here now, but please remember to return and give me your opinion of the documentary. First of all, I want to say that is a real catchy name for this docuseries. I grew up with Disney's animation Beauty and the Beast and absolutely loved it. Thabo Bester was so scared that he will now be personified as a beast after this series. But what I think he forgot is that the beast in the Disney series was actually a very handsome and caring prince. Everything Bester will never be, but a very catchy name nonetheless. The documentary started off with a voice note from Thabo to Nandipa. It sounded like this voice note was sent to her while he was in prison. Let's be safe and use the word alleged. I don't want Bester or his interesting attorney coming for me. After all, not Thabo or Nandipa stood trial for this yet. So this is still to come. And we have to give them the presumption of innocence until proven guilty. Okay, enough about that. That voice note was probably sent to her before the alleged escape. It sounded like that anyway. Take a listen.
Hey, I don't even know where to start. I'll try my best to cover as much as I can. Please don't give this to anyone, because I don't want people coming after you. Oh, God, help me. I don't know if I'm going to do this whole sentence in here, or if they're going to one day kill me. Only God knows the true intentions of every human. But hey, if anything happens to me, at least I know you try to help me.
Another message played was how he informed the authorities that they are trying to kill him. So we know that there was, according to Thabo, issues between him and some members of the Numbers gang. Were they the people trying to kill him? Or was this Bester manipulating Nandipa to make sure she will follow through on the plan? I mean, she can't back out if his life is at stake. Come to think of it, the Numbers gang could very well have been out to get him. But the other side of the coin is that this story was not only for Nandipa, but part of the bigger plan. We know he was moved to solitary confinement on his request. And the very same reason was given in that request. So were they out to get him, or did they do their part to assist in his plan? This can go very deep, but I won't go there in this video. For those of you who don't know the Numbers gang in South Africa, let's just say they are a very feared gang and you don't want to cross them. They are in most prisons in South Africa and are one of the oldest criminal organizations here. And this part actually made me so sad. We tend to forget that this is real human beings. Yes, even Thabo Bester, not playing down what he did or who he is. Just listen to this for a second. I always, when talking to my friends about these cases, use the analogy of a cake and ask the question, what is a cake made of? The answer is a lot of ingredients, not just 1 or 2 or even 3. And leave out one ingredient and you don't have a cake anymore. No eggs, no cake. No icing, no cake. And that for me is the same with, especially when thinking about these criminals. He was once a small innocent boy, and there was just too much of the wrong ingredients added into one bucket. Look at Thabo now. You can see he's clever, but he used that talent for all the wrong reasons. In his voice note, he talks about only God knows the true intention of a human being. That can be Thabo manipulating Nandipa, or that can be Thabo thinking back at himself as a child, wanting a better life for himself, seeing people in nice shoes and expensive cars, and wanting all of that for himself, but he had no resources. And in his own words, he said that it's there where the problem started. The only way he saw around him in the streets to get the goal was to lie, cheat, and steal. To get what he wanted, he had to very quickly learn the language of the streets and adding intelligence, charm, street smart, and an unimaginable hunger for wealth and success is definitely a recipe for disaster, when not used as a positive force but negative one. While I'm on it, let me share my very unpopular opinion about how this all started. And again, what this man did was unforgivable and unthinkable and wrong in so many ways. He is and always will be a manipulating beast. But how do you think did it get to this in the first place? I think that Thabo was getting so good at manipulating that he actually manipulated himself. Yes, I think he started to believe his own lies. In Thabo's own words, he said he fell in love with the entertainment industry at a very young age. Did he not manipulate himself into thinking he could make a life for himself in that industry? Thus the reason he lured the unsuspecting woman in the way that he did. But when he met up with his first potential client, he didn't know where to go from there, and he didn't know what to do and how to take the next step. And in that moment, reality kicked in and he snapped. And unfortunately, when he first stepped over that line, there was just no coming back. And there and then a monster was born. And to this day, Bester is still using his skills for all the wrong reasons, and I don't think he can ever be rehabilitated. Anyway, I was so saddened by the thought that this man we see today was once an innocent boy, a product of poverty combined with so many other things, and he decided to take the wrong route. And then Nandipa, all her family and friends were talking so lovingly about her. Her father said that she was from her birth destined to have an extraordinary life. In his words, she was born with a covered membrane, and traditionally, if a child is born like that, he or she is seen as very special. Nandipa's mother laughing while thinking back at the days they were cooking together. She was apparently a very good cook. Imagine yourself being in the shoes of her father and mother. And I'm aware of what her father did. And here I'm not saying that it was not wrong. I'm just asking the question, how far will you go for your daughter? We don't know what she told him, how she begged him. Remember, her parents are of the generation still living under strict traditional rules, and he had a duty to his daughter. I would love to know more about his alleged involvement in the escape, to also for myself paint a very realistic picture. And again, I don't want you to think I'm excusing any of the wrongdoing by any of them, but to understand we have to explore and try to figure out why they did what they did. Nandipa was described by her father as brilliant at school, and she was always so proud of her accomplishments. Her brother said she was a perfectionist and also loved the limelight, especially as she got older and more successful in the name she was building for herself. A very trusted friend, Lunga, who was actually also the brand manager at her one company, said they were such good friends that it later felt as if they were family. Nandipa was also very religious, and so was he, and their devotion to their faith was just one thing that kept them so close together. He also mentioned that Nandipa was very intellectual and was very devoted to working towards her legacy. Nandipa's one client, Penny, who also became a very good friend, also said that Nandipa just loved her designer bags, fancy cars, and luxurious holidays. She was smiling the whole time when remembering the good old days. But then everything changed soon after she got involved with a man named TK Nkwana. According to Penny, Nandipa's light was not there anymore, and she was so tense most of the time. It was as if she had so much going on. Nandipa's brother said that there was a time when Nandipa seemed to change a bit. Money just kept flowing in. Nandipa started to hang out with random wealthy people, and they were now her new friends. They clearly also had a lot of money. And then they heard about this TK guy. Her brother tried to ask her about it, but she was quite personal about her relationship. They then got real concerned when they saw Nandipa walking around with bodyguards and even a driver. She isolated herself, or was isolated, a very common tactic manipulators and abusers use to get someone all to themselves. And her parents started to get concerned. She was not herself anymore, and clearly not the happy spirit they knew and loved. Her father even asked what happened to their Nandipa. So, one day Nandipa went to Lunga and told him that there was a business person they can trust who wanted to invest in the company. She was then talking about this TK person. Remember, she was at that time already so manipulated that she lied to her best friend about Thabo because TK was Thabo. She knew that, but like I said, already so manipulated that she went along with his lies. In 2022, Lunga met this TK person. He came rolling in a fancy car, sunglasses, outfit on point. He really acted the part. And then Lunga started to notice some flirting between TK and Nandipa. And he started to think that they were at this stage more than just business partners. They spent a lot of time together, and when Lunga asked Nandipa about it, she didn't want to talk about it. Now this was strange to him. Unlike with her brother, Nandipa and Lunga were open about these type of things, so he found this to be very strange. Then TK started to pick up the kids. I mean, he was involved in everything to do with Optimum and Nandipa. All the business approvals even had to go through him. He gained power and access to everything. What he said was like law. Someone who wanted to stay anonymous was also interviewed. He was part of the security service at the Green Park Corner building. He met Nandipa as the owner of Optimum, and then TK entered the picture. He looked like a nice guy. He looked professional, and it came up that he dressed really nice. But then he was introduced to this person, who came from overseas by the way, as the new owner of Optimum. And then everything changed. The ladies working there suddenly were not anymore, and again, this is textbook control tactic from Thabo. According to this man, everything changed. Nandipa was always stressed on calls, not giving attention to things going on around her. So, Lunga really started to get frustrated and scared for his friends. And as we as friends do when we suspect something with a person getting close to our friends, he googled TK and Guana. And what did he get? Absolutely nothing. That was really concerning to him. So he asked Nandipa out to lunch one day to catch up and talk about this. They at this stage saw each other very rarely because Nandipa just wasn't at the business anymore, always out to see clients. But as the brand manager, he wasn't aware of any of that. Lunga didn't understand what was going on. He was so confused, but just left it at that. Nandipa then started to say things to him like, "Pray for me, and they are coming to destroy me. They are coming for my reputation." We still don't know who the they are, but I would assume it was all lies being fed to her by Thabo. She was so isolated from friends and family and didn't attend social gatherings anymore. Remember, her father and brother also said the same thing. Lunga realized that Nandipa now has multiple numbers, and this really didn't sit right with him. So we went to her house one day, unannounced, to try and figure out what was going on, and Nandipa immediately told him they must go to talk on the tennis court. And there she just cried, and she was so emotional, and he knew that something is seriously wrong. And he knew it all started when TK entered her life. And it's really so sad that a lovely person full of life and love can change into something completely different by Thabo Bester. And now you can say that she had choices. Yes, she did. But I think he is such a seasoned manipulator that before Nandipa even knew it, she was already in way too deep. In this first episode, a lady named Pearl Tusi was also interviewed. She's an actress and entrepreneur, and she shared her encounter with Thabo, and it is very clear that it's still affecting her to this day. She said that she doesn't know what brought Thabo to her. To me, it's actually very clear. During her interview, she actually called him genuinely crazy. And that is it for part 1. If you made it till the end, thank you so much. Please remember to subscribe if you haven't yet. It means so much to me, and a small act like that can help this channel grow. Also make sure the notification bell is on so you get notified as soon as I upload part 2. Like the video if you did, and please blow up the comment section like never before. Give me your thoughts. I will also be active in the comment section for the first few hours. Thank you again for sharing your time with me. Until next time, bye.